Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
That's that face I made Sunday, man.
Can you turn me down a little bit? Thank you.
All right, yo. Oh, my bad. Let me turn your volume down, Peter. Be a professional. So, as you can see, I got my man Jake to my right.
What's up, guys?
Ralphie in the ones and twos. PSG is current form right now is ever changing on A2D. Not believing my boy Aaron is on a hiatus right now. He will be coming back. I don't know if he on this Dave Chappelle shit. But, my man, I still love you. We all love you here from the 82 fam. We are here. And last night we kind of got a gift, but this is my problem. Last week I called it at work. I said, yo, Dallas going to lose to Buffalo. I'm ready to suck me back in like a vacuum, like a Hoover vacuum, to suck me emotionally back in. Because I said, you know what? I was already done.
Mm-hmm.
I was done. After the Seahawks, I'm like, I'm not. I can't hype myself up to this team and be invested in it just to be let down. Seattle did it for me. Because I'm still not a believer in Seattle. I mean, they're decent art, don't get me wrong. But when they lost to Buffalo, when Dallas lost to Buffalo, I'm like, okay. First half of that game, I'm taking my daughter back to Rutgers. And I'm like, all right, 7-0. First Fitzmagic is an interception. Going. I'm like, 13, okay. Then 14-13, I'm like, all right, Merrill started talking about the defeat in the second quarter. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Merrill. Like, stop putting that bad juju on us. Then all of a sudden, it's 28-14. I'm on my way back. And it felt like I was in a twilight zone because I got stuck in traffic on the turnpike. And then all hell broke loose. I'm so glad I didn't watch it, but just listening to it, I want to know if it was as bad watching it as it was listening to it.
It was pretty bad, and Ralphie can agree. It was pretty bad because you're up. Was it by 14 points?
I just can't believe we went down to Miami, played a 2-9 football team, and just gave up.
Oh, it was crazy.
Like, yet again, the Eagles can never be balanced on both sides of the ball.
Right.
The offense can never be there one week. The defense can never be there another week. This week, it was the Eagles' offense came out high and flying and doing their thing, and the defense said, you know what? I'll be on South Beach real quick. I'll catch you up after the game, and that's what happened.
Right.
And it sucks. And you know, Fitzmagic. That's what they call him, Fitzmagic. Now there's always that one game that he has that he just goes off.
Yeah.
And last year it was week 2 against the Birds when he was with Tampa, and then this year was with Miami.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man.
It's crazy because the past 2 seasons anyway, he's had our number the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, yes.
It's crazy.
It's not our number. It's Jim Schwartz's number.
Yeah.
He's like Fitzmagic is that dude sprinkling the salt on the food on the grill,
steak.
on the steak, and you know who the steak is? It's Jim Schwartz, bitch.
Yeah.
He just that bitch like this.
Yeah.
Little magic dust. But so the poll question: will the Eagles be playing a game in January, a meaningful football? Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Fam out there. And before we even get into the business of that, ATS Sport Picks, enter promo code A2D for 20% off. Get your money on. Remember Big Timers, y'all may be too young for Big Timers, but it was Manny Fresh and Birdman, and it was Get Your Roll On. And in like 99, 2000, 2001, he was beating them the streets in the summer. So go ahead, use promo code A2D, 20% off, Get Your Roll On. But, Jake, I'm saying, will the Eagles be playing a game in January that we will care about, or will we be thinking about the draft? Will we be thinking about Lamb, Judy, Ruggs, Chenault? Will we be thinking about wide receivers come January?
I really don't know. and I know I know on Birds of a Feather the other night, Chuck was kind of talking about kind of looking into the draft a little bit, but the season isn't over.
Right.
Again, these are games we can win, but again, we had the Miami Dolphins marked down as a win, and everyone's boasting and sticking their chests out. We're finding ourselves sticking our chests out again.
Yes.
With the New York Giants coming up, with Daniel Jones being injured with a high ankle sprain, and Eli Manning coming back.
That only
concerns me so much more.
Yes.
Than having Daniel Jones. That concerns me so much more, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, Eli Manning's a statue.
Yes.
But he actually has playmakers that are coming back.
What I think Eli can do? He doesn't have the arm to do what he used to be able to do. Mm-hmm. But he is someone that can throw it up like Fitzmagic and let his wide receivers make plays.
Right.
And mind you, once again, this another wide receiver that's a rookie that's producing more than J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is Darius Slayton, 5th round pick out of Auburn. So I just want to throw that out there. Mm-hmm. That's another Jenga block that we pull out from Howie in the scouting department. So if you want to look at it like that, because I don't know how, but we can get right into it because I don't think there's too much we want to hit on with the Dolphins game. Mm-hmm. It happened. It's like a cut, and you just want to move on from it. It's like it's like that one night stand. You wake up and you're like, "Ooh, I messed with this bitch." You know what I mean? It's like I just want to. All right, put that out my memory. I'm done with that. I'm through. I'm on to the next one. So Eli Manning coming back hasn't touched the football. Well, hasn't played it down in 3 months. Mm-hmm. Now the forecast for the game is supposed to be rainy.
It's supposed to be rainy and crappy. Yeah.
So does that kind of bodes better for the Eagles? But when you look at, no doubt we had the better offensive line. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, Miles Sanders. We don't know what's going on with Jordan Howard, but I tell you what, I've been stung by a bee before. That ain't no damn stinger. I don't know what the hell.
I think it's a nerve issue.
Dude, what did he do? Like he was. I don't know if he heard it the game before the bye week, the Bears game.
It was the Bears game. They said he had a stinger in the Bears game.
But you didn't even hear it. He played the whole game, though. Yeah. That's the whole thing, though. Mm-hmm. And then the bye week happened, and then it was the week after the bye week, that Monday, and you found out that Jordan Howard had the stinger. Mm-hmm. Well, it was quote-unquote the stinger. Now he would miss a game. Right. So I'm like, all right, he'll miss a game, and then next week comes, he'll miss another game. And he still hasn't, gone into any contact throughout practice.
Right.
So it might be more than a stinger.
Do you think he's making business decisions? Because remember, he is a free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah, but again, at the same time, you can use the same exact argument that he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year.
Right, you want to put something on tape.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. So, me personally, I don't know. Obviously, I think going into the offseason, I'm fine with it because for me, that just means he's going to be cheaper. Yeah. And I'd love to bring him back with Miles Sanders. That 1-2 punch would be great. But I don't know. I'm literally just waiting for just an announcement that they put him on IR. That's what I'm waiting for.
But if they put him on IR, that opens up the spot to do what with?
He's sitting at home right now, and he just apologized on Twitter.
Antonio Brown. Yep. Antonio Brown.
Just he apologized?
Yeah.
He wrote like a full two.
I've been so caught up in what the shitstorm.
Yeah.
The breakdown that Jerry Jones had today.
Oh my God!
You hear that on the radio? Yeah.
Which is so comical.
Yep.
I haven't even been following anything else. So AB apologized on Twitter.
Yeah, to the NFL. Sorry for my actions and
over the past couple years and that whole thing.
I'm sorry to my family, my friends.
He's close to signing with the team.
I think so too.
He's close to signing with the team. Like there's I said this when Oakland released him and how he started being outlandish and how authoritative he was being and direct he was being at I want out, I want out, I want out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You would only do that if you knew you had something else.
Like a backup plan.
Like a backup plan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or a better situation. So this coming from him today, there's something in the works. Maybe.
Something's, yeah.
But because you know why? You know why it doesn't look as bad for the league now to do something? Because of what Myles Garrett did.
Yeah.
What Myles Garrett did, that's now that's the standard. Like that right there. And what AB did, and especially when you have the other people not coming forward, you haven't heard anything else about it, nothing at all. That is the standard.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the standard. So when you look at what is bad, what Myles Garrett did is the standard. And I don't think AB socially, morally, okay, I'm with you there. But from a football level, to go out there and catch pigskin, no. So maybe he may be close to signing to a team. So maybe they put Jordan Howard IR. Maybe that's a route they
But
go.
then if they don't go to the AB, right, and they stay, what are you comfortable with a Sanders Ajayi 1-2 in the backfield?
After how I saw Ajayi look, no.
No.
Ajayi is a shell of himself, and that's why he only played 2 snaps. They literally saw him hand the ball off. He got that one first down, and then that one where he scrambled all over the place.
Yeah.
And he was done.
You can tell he's not the same.
And it was hot. And
He's
that
not the
heat,
same.
and he hasn't been playing football.
Yeah.
And to play in that heat, even guys who've been playing all year were starting to be sluggish. So for him, it's even slower. Now, so Monday night, it's raining. You need a running game. Now, obviously, we don't have the best running back, but Saquon's not himself either.
No, he's
But
still hurt.
If you figure Ajayi could come in and somewhat be a power run, they could come up with some run schemes. I don't even know who is the third running back because you can't go get
It's Boston Scott.
No.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy we had last year? Notre Dame. Josh
Adams.
He's with the Jets now.
Yeah.
I would love to have somebody like that just for this game,
Yeah,
so you could consistently pound it with fresh legs running the ball.
right.
I mean, I think Sanders is the biggest mismatch, but I don't know. When you got Evan Ingram coming back, you got Sterling Shepard coming back, you got Golden Tate coming. This would be the first game that all of them
Are back.
And you got Eli back there. And I know everybody's like, oh, it's Eli Manning.
Right.
But listen, bro, to him, this is like his.
This
is what Tony Romo. Remember that game?
Yep.
Tony Romo last game at the Linc.
Didn't
Dak
matter,
Prescott
yep.
was lighting up the world. It was their 13-3 year.
Yeah, it was their first
When
season.
Tony got hurt,
2016, yeah.
and Dak came in, they went 13-3.
Yep.
And the last game was at the Linc.
Yep.
And Tony came in and he drove them all the way down the field for a touchdown. And they almost won that game too.
Yep.
They almost won that game. So I mean, this might be Eli's, little,
Swan song,
say, you know what? I still got a little juice left in the tank. Let me see if I can get this done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're done from they're out of the playoffs. They're playing with house money.
House money. And the thing is, they already had the quarterback that they want.
Yep.
And so they don't need to be a number 1 pick.
Yeah.
If they're going to be in the top 5.
Yeah.
And they can still get a quality player. They can get the top offensive line. They can get possibly Chase Young out of Ohio State, the defensive end. So when you look at it in that aspect, this is a tough spot because you know what the Eagles put on tape against the Dolphins, against another team who has nothing to play for. And
Are we live on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why my phone's acting up, though.
Oh,
My bad.
that's fine. Technical issues, that's fine. This is software, especially this
right.
time of year. So, when you look at that, I just don't have that confidence. So when I look at the poll question, do I agree that they'll be playing the game in January? I have to say no. As much as I want Wentz to have playoff experience, I just think building this team needs so much. And I know we can look at draft picks versus the playoffs, but let's honestly look at it. Like, New Orleans, nobody's been talking about New Orleans lately because they just were kind of doing the same old thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seattle surging. And you got whatever's going on in the North. Chicago still feels like they're in it. Minnesota still feels like they're in it. Green Bay feels like they're still in it. The only way I can see being comfortable with saying agree is if you tell me we win the next 4, okay? And you get like a San Francisco 49ers team coming here. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm scared shitless of their defensive line.
Yeah.
But I'll take Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, Kyle Shanahan against our Jim Schwartz.
That's a concern.
But it's an inexperienced team playing an experienced
All
team
I want-
in January.
All I want is for Carson to taste the playoffs.
that's all I want.
Okay.
I want to make the playoffs just so Carson goes in there with experience.
Okay.
Because
Nah, that
I
makes a lot
don't
of sense.
because I don't want for what happened with I'll say the Cowboys, right? They were 13-3 team. Dak's first year, they were catching fire. He goes into the playoffs, very unexperienced. I mean, he went toe to toe with Aaron Rodgers, but they got Rodgers at the end of the game. You know what I mean? They left too much time.
Now, people forget they played the Lions in the first round. Was that the Lions the first round? No, was that the
That
year?
That was last year, wasn't it? Or no?
No, they played the Rams. They played. Are you talking about last year?
No, 2016. Who did they play in the
The
first?
Packers. They played the Packers.
It was the Packers.
They went 13-3 that year, and they played the Packers. And remember, they left like a
Yes.
minute 30 left, and Rodgers
the
said,
Jared Cook catch?
and Rodgers said,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was the catch
thinking
on the
about-
sideline.
I'm thinking about 20. I'm thinking about
With the
20.
pass interference call and stuff like. Remember that game? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was with Romo.
Yeah, that
Romo was
with
the
Romo.
quarterback at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, because the Lions got robbed that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lions got they magically picked up the flag.
And then the next week,
They got it
Dez
right
didn't
back.
catch it.
Yeah, they got it right back.
Yeah.
No, he did. Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Depends on who you ask. But go ahead, Jake. You were saying?
I think with me, to the poll question, I agree. Personally, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
To Ralph's point, I want to see Wentz get that playoff experience. And you're also hearing throughout the Eagles organization, Doug actually is letting in to his offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. He's letting into his position coaches. They had a padded practice for the first time in God knows how long.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that Doug's actually holding these people accountable instead of being soft like he usually is. No offense to Doug, he's a good coach, but he's too soft. He has to be aggressive, just moving forward throughout the rest of the season. But yeah, I really I don't know why. I think I don't know if it's the fan in me or what it is, but I really think they can go on a run once they get everything just all together. I think they really can do it.
For me, now you can looking ahead in the future.
Mm-hmm.
If they take care of business Monday, they take care of business Sunday against the Redskins.
We're all going to the Week 16 game. We're getting a suite.
It's that.
Oh, I'm so down.
It is that game on the 22nd. If they somehow
Lose.
can win, then I'm with you.
Okay.
Then I'm with you potentially with the run, because if they win that game, we all kind of get
excited.
but you get Carson with the taste of the playoffs.
Right.
You get the young players, because I feel like now the young players are starting to have to contribute.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what took Doug this damn long to get into his to be so hands off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dog, you see what you're doing? Like, you just lost. Like, it shouldn't have took you to lose to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Like, that loss to Detroit, that loss to Atlanta, when they lose the next 6-7 weeks, that's when you should have got into them.
Yeah.
That's when you should have got into it. And that's when you should have became more hands-on. Why did it have to get to this point at 85-degree heat? You up 2 scores in the third quarter. You're not running the ball. I understand you could pass on them. They had 8 players out of the secondary. I get that. But why didn't you go to Jim Schwartz like, dog, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Yeah.
Why are we playing man coverage when we don't have man corners?
But I'll also say this, too. I'll devil's advocate a little bit with you. You also got to look at Doug, too, because he's doing the play calls. You threw the ball, what was it, 35 times in that second half.
Yep. And you only ran it, I think,
And you only ran it 19 times that whole game.
Yeah.
And that was the worst rushing defense in the league.
Yep.
And every time you ran the ball, you were getting 5+ yards every carry.
Yeah.
And when that second half came, it just went blank. You
Right.
didn't run the ball no
And
more.
I understand you don't have to run it as consistently, but that drive, when they started surging, you needed a drive. Maybe not to score, but to keep them off the field.
Yeah.
You know, to keep them off the field. I understand Carson may have missed some passes and there was some miscues on the offense. That happens every game. This team hasn't been executing all year on both sides of the ball, like you stated. They have not played a complete game. That was one of my questions about the Eagles and Giants game. Can this team play a complete game on both sides of the ball? We still have yet to see that, and this is week 14.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the fan in me is like, show me.
Right.
I'm screaming, show me. Like, I've given you blind faith. I've given you what you've given your players, the players that you should have moved on from. I've given you what you gave Darren Sproles. I'm giving you what you gave Jason Peters and Harry Roseman. I'm looking at it. I'm giving you that sentimentality to say, hey, you did this for me, so I'm still going to love you, and I still have faith in you. That shit is gone.
Yeah.
That then flew out like an eagle. It then flew out of my body. And I said it on the weekly roundup several weeks ago. I said, I hope and pray that I'm not right and that 2017 was the peak. But the more we go on and we see what this team is doing, and more importantly, we see the decisions that the front office has made, because Alshon Jeffrey contract next year, no need to be guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Now that puts us in the hole. So I'm just like, this game, Monday night, yeah, it's a game on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
It's Week 14's game.
Mm-hmm.
But for us as the fans and for A2D as the fan base, as our family, it means more to us than that. It's not just that one game. I can't just look at it as one singular game. I know the players, and I hope the players are looking at it like that. I hope they put the Miami Dolphins loss out of their mind.
Right.
But for us, we're so much more invested in it.
Yeah.
Because it's voluntary for us.
Right.
The players, those 53 on the field, have to be on the field. That's their livelihood. For us, we're choosing time out of our day to show our productivity or lack thereof, emotional intelligence, as Jeffrey Lurie would like to say. We're putting it into this football team.
Yep.
So last Sunday, when we're putting that all into the football team and we get let down like that, I'm sorry. I don't know if I have that much fandom in me right now for Monday night to get up for this game. And it's being echoed by season tickets holders that may not want to go to the game on it. They can't even get rid of the tickets.
Right.
Yeah.
These tickets are selling for like $50.
It's crazy.
For a Week 14 game where you win that game, you're tied for first place, albeit with a losing record.
Yep.
But you're tied for first place this late into the season. Now, last year was a little bit different story, kind of. They couldn't really – the wild card picture was really the way we had to go. But now you're looking at hosting a home game. Mm-hmm. You don't need a double doink on the road if you went out. You know what I mean? You can have that double doink for the road team here, and you can move on. And more importantly, who your quarterback is going to be if you make it to the playoffs.
Right.
So ultimately, you guys are both in. You agree that they'll be playing in January.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So
And I'm very thankful the Cowboys have to come here for Week 16.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, and that's another point, too, because they're right now they're just falling apart.
Yeah.
They are just falling apart. You're seeing Jason Witten flip out of coaches, players.
And I love it because
so do
Jerry Jones is destroying that franchise and that chemistry in that locker room every time he opens up his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just take a little insight. Let's take a little little veer off the road.
Okay.
How did they get this way? There's so much talent.
Well,
You know why? Because look at their first game. Their first 3 games
Against nobody.
were cupcakes.
and they were
And
lighting people
everybody
up, and
was
everyone's-
blowing them
Yep.
for the first 3 weeks of the NFL season. This team's going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
How are you going to stop this offense?
Yep.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, they went down to New Orleans and lost.
Yeah.
But every time they play a good team, they're terrible. But when they play these cupcakes, they look like world beaters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Right. But also, look, when they caught the Packers, we had just played the Packers.
Yeah.
And the Packers wasn't even at their peak yet.
And you could say that was our only complete game of the year.
Yeah.
That was like our only complete game of the year.
That was our closest complete game of the year.
You can make an argument for the Bills game too, but
Yeah, well, the Bills is just. It's weird how that game got out of hand. We won 31-13 because I don't think the game was as open as the score led it to be.
well, as soon as Josh Allen fumbled, it was kind of just over right there.
Yeah, and then the Cowboys they lost to Green Bay.
Yep.
And then that Jets loss.
Lost
That's
to the Jets.
unexplainable.
Lost to the Bills, lost to the Bears.
Yep. And we beaten 3 teams.
We've beaten all 4 of them.
All
Yeah.
4 of that. So
All
four
four of
of
them.
those 7 losses. So let's just look at this. We have 5 wins.
Yeah.
4 of those wins have come to teams that the Cowboys have lost to.
Yep. The Packers, Bills, Jets, and Bears. We've all beaten.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong. The Bears team, as they're playing now, Nagy, I think Lamar Jackson and what he's doing in Baltimore has opened a lot of these offensive coordinators' eyes and these head coaches' eyes to say, you know what? We can't just keep sitting here in this NFL mode and just think that, okay, an NFL quarterback is Tom Brady or Drew Brees of that nature or Phillip Rivers of that nature.
Right.
You can do these high schoolish plays, these college plays, where they look like they're backyard football and have success.
Right.
I mean, Baltimore and Lamar Jackson is showing you that, and I think that's last night. Even Nagy said it in the post-game conference. He said it that we did a little bit of things with Trubisky to get him back on track. We went to a little bit more of what he enjoys.
Using his legs, yeah.
Using his legs, getting him out of the pocket. And we saw that with Doug and Carson Sunday in Miami. But what Carson does best, and what I hope we see if the weather permits, is Carson when he just spreads you out. 4 wide outs. He spreads you out. He can see everything. He knows kind of what the defense is doing. And even though if our wide receivers can't truly beat man on man, but if they can get some space and get some easier throws to some lanes, he is successful. Right. It's when things start to get complicated and crowded and more coordinated and more detailed where we run into a problem. So with that being said, I'm just sitting here like, this Giant game scaring me, bro.
Yeah, it scares me too.
It scares me to get back into it because I'm just like,
do I want my heart broken again?
Right. And that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Do I want to put myself up on this pedestal with my heart emotionally as a fan, just to have my heart thrown like Mankind from the top of a cage by The Undertaker at Hell in a Cell in 1997?
Right.
Do I want that? Do I need that in my life?
Right.
Am I going to benefit from that? And I don't know, man. I'm indifferent right now.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say to your point, though, I saw on Twitter earlier today, Jimmy Kimsky was at the Eagles practice. Okay. They actually had Carson running RPOs.
Okay.
Which is nice. So I just hope Doug opens the playbook a little bit. I mean, it looked good against the Dolphins, but again, it's the Dolphins. So, but I think it helps them offensively just to see them get that rhythm and just going back on the Dolphins game. I think that helps too. But again, it really just depends on what we're going to get from Doug too. And that's one thing people are talking about. Is Doug going to actually call a balanced game to where we actually dedicate to the run opposed to 40, 50 passes a game?
Okay. That's very, very true. Very, very true. Now, one of the questions I wanted to throw out there, and we can look at Facebook and the fam, and I asked the fam on YouTube. I'm following YouTube with Ralphie and Jake. If you see anything,
I got some stuff on Facebook as well.
Okay. Are you still engaged in this season?
Just because we can win the division,
right?
Yes. If it was how it was, I forget what year it was. When we were completely out of 2016. When we were completely out of it, I checked out mentally. You know what I mean? I'm done. Because there's no point of getting your hopes up, waking up every Sunday, thinking that you're going to win, even though the Cowboys are 10-2 at one point. And you're still sitting in second place, 4 games back. I mean, but the fact that we're still in a playoff race and we can still win the division at what we are at 5-7 now, I'm still invested.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm still there with the team.
Okay,
but we all know how Philadelphia sports goes. Once you put your hopes back into it,
they rip your heart out.
Yep. They rip your heart right out.
I'm doing my part as a fan, not to get myself up. It's like kind of reverse psychology shit. So if we win Monday and we go on a run, you're welcome.
Right.
You're welcome.
It would be crazy too. Just a hypothetical. Redskins are still in it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're 3-9. They're still in it.
Dwayne Haskins is looking pretty good. Yeah. Relatively.
So I looked it up today. For the Redskins to win the division, they have to have the Cowboys have to lose out,
and we
have
to
go.
Cowboys.
We have to go 1-3.
And they have
last 4 games.
They have to win out.
And they have to
win out.
Could you imagine?
A 7-9.
Could you imagine if that happens?
Yeah, that would be crazy.
If you talk about an owner that doesn't deserve to win as much as Jerry Jones deserves to win.
Yeah.
It's Dan
Snyder.
Dan Snyder, yeah.
It's Daniel Snyder.
Any team from the NFC East doesn't deserve to go to the playoffs.
No. Nope.
But listen, if you're 7-9, win the division. I mean, I'm all with you.
Yeah. What we got going on Facebook?
So Greg on Facebook says, "What up, fellas?
What's up, Greggy?
Hate to be that guy because I seem to always be, but I have to disagree to the poll. I can't trust this team right now."
Okay.
Hey,
you're not wrong.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm right there. With
Ricky Galone also says that Eli has picked us apart before, and everyone is healthy. I'm genuinely worried, and we shouldn't be.
Yep.
Yes.
I agree.
And then Andy Atkins also says,
What's up, Andy?
Plus, that team will be extra motivated to see Eli go out and do well. The team around him will play better.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Then the resident cockroach, Jesse
God.
Ramon Nichols.
What's up, Jesse?
Says go Giants. Tough night on Thursday. It's all right.
Jesse, really, like, how can you vouch for your coach after what he did? He damn near had a nervous breakdown on radio. He telling people get their act together. He need to be telling that to Jason Garrett and his team, and he need to be addressing the players that he actually signs the check for. He need to tell them to get their act together, not some damn radio host that has nothing to do with him. And then he cussing, got to get the button twice. You got to get bleeped twice?
Fucking Andy.
Yeah.
Twice?
Andy says, "What up, fellas?
What's up, Andy?
Have a great
yo.
show."
We're trying. I'm trying to be emotionally too strong for the fan base because. All right, now.
Jalen Williams on
I can't even
YouTube says, "What up, guys?"
What's up,
Bryce
Jalen?
Brickwell says, "What up, guys?"
What's up, Bryce?
Jalen? What up, Bryce?
I saw this one question here. Eddie Sanchez says,
up, Eddie?
"I hope even if we make the playoffs, that the Eagles still fire Groh and Jim."
Perfect.
Yep.
Eddie, you read my
Yep.
you read my mind because I'm gonna be honest with you. I heard this today. I was looking. I think bringing back Sproles and bringing back Peters or bringing back Groh and not taking a hard look at this team was simply because they made the playoffs last year. Not only because they made the playoffs last year,
But they won a game.
but they won a game.
Right.
And then technically, yes, New Orleans beat the Eagles, but the Eagles at that point in time kind of beat themselves.
Oh, they absolutely did.
You were up 14-0. You lose Brandon Brooks.
That's when it started to fall apart.
That's when it started to fall apart. And then you just start second-guessing yourself. You get that lead, but then guess what? You have a chance to win the game. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
And your sure-handed wide receiver, Alshon, drops the ball.
Yep.
So I can't really say New Orleans, but ever since then, so that little glimpse, when you go back and you look at the season as a whole, it's like, okay, we went. They finished 10-6 or 9-7
9-7, I believe.
For what?
last year.
Last year, it was 9-7.
For
right?
9-7,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was
9-7 last year.
Wild card, by the way.
Wild card.
Because Cowboys won
You won
the division.
at 10-6, right?
By the way, I might have to look this up. There still hasn't been a back-to-back
back
winner
check,
since, what was it, since 04-05.
Yes.
I think I'm correct. I got to look it up.
When you look at that, it's like, okay, we had a successful season. We don't need to. We just make some minor tweaks, but big changes.
Right.
So now it's like, do they make the same mistake? And I saw, I forget who was it. Who said it?
Chris Mortensen?
No. Somebody in our chat said
Oh.
it. If the rumors are true, yeah. Oh, Bryce Blackwell said it. He said changes got to be made. Hopefully the reports or change are true. And now when you look at this pool, because I think what made Frank Reich, Doug, and DeFilippo solely because for Carson DeFilippo, I think he held him accountable all the time.
He did.
But Frank Reich was a voice that Peterson truly respected. And if Frank, I think Frank would give it to Peterson like, yo, like this is what we need to do. Even not just in prep. Because there's a lot. I think Groh may do that in prep during the week. But when it comes game time, you scared to say something.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
And I don't think Frank Wright was like that. So that's why I said I was chiming in heavy on the fix Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I was in there deep. But no, like if you want to move on from Jim Schwartz, if you want to get away from somebody that only plays that one scheme, it doesn't have a straight, I don't know how to say this, balanced defense from front to back. Maybe you look at Ron Rivera.
I would love to have Ron
As
Rivera.
your D coordinator?
I would love to have Ron in here.
Because that's all somebody who's been a head coach, went to a Super Bowl, and if you let him tell it why you fire somebody and then give them a press conference the next day, like it's going to turn out good.
Yeah.
My man said we won back-to-back NFC South Division championships. Let me emphasize that once again. We won back-to-back.
Yeah.
So, but that's somebody like that who maybe doesn't want to be a head coach right away, but wants to be part of a winning organization, and he has ties to here. I would definitely look into that. Now, Ralph and Jake as well. I had said Jay Gruden for OC, but there's a lot of Mike Kafka love.
That's Ryan. That's all Ryan. Ryan's all aboard that.
Is that
Kafka.
only? But I've been hearing that from someone like
I've heard Mike Kafka too. I want Jay Gruden. Me personally, I want Jay.
See, I'm there.
And like with me, I just think we get like a quote-unquote, like, all-star coaching staff as far as offensive and defensive coordinator. If Ron Rivera doesn't get a head coaching job, which I believe he will, get a head coaching job. But if he doesn't, if he wants to come back and be a D coordinator for, like, another 2 years or so, I'd bring him in a second.
Okay.
And I'd bring in Jay Gruden. And obviously, Chris Mortensen said on ESPN earlier this week, he said he texted Jeffrey Lurie. He didn't really respond, but he knows Jeffrey Lurie holds people accountable.
Yeah.
And he said he expects the Eagles to have, I think he said, dramatic changes in the coaching staff. Minus Doug, obviously. Right. Doug's still going to be here, but he said he expects the Eagles to have dramatic coaching changes.
And so, Ralphie, who is your dream coordinator? So what is your dream three-headed monster as far as coach, DC, OC?
My DC, I would love to have Ron, bro.
I would love to have
Ron. That's if I were to fire Jim Schwartz, Ron Rivera is number one on my board. Mm-hmm. He has to be number one on your board.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. I'm not there yet for OCs. I just don't. I mean, Jay's a good name. Mm-hmm. He's been a good offensive coordinator for different teams.
Right.
Before he was the head coach of the Redskins.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, Mike Kafka is out there as well from KC. Another Andy Reid guy.
Mm-hmm. Another quarterback.
Yeah, another quarterback. So I mean, there's names out there, but the top guy on my list would be Ron Rivera for DC.
Oh, absolutely,
easily.
Mm-hmm. So, but it's easy enough to say the OC has to be somebody other.
Now
than
let me ask you this,
go ahead,
because we know how the Eagles work sometimes, where loyalty is everything to the Eagles sometimes.
I was just going to bring this up.
And there's one guy
I know where you're going.
that keeps on coming up as OC
I know where you're going.
to become the next OC,
Deuce?
and that's Deuce Staley.
Yeah.
To get that promotion. Because it was rumored in 2017 when Frank Reich left that DC and for the OC job for Deuce, and it did come down to Mike Rowe and Deuce Staley, and they went with Mike Rowe, and then Deuce went back to the running backs as the running back coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe they just stay in-house for OC.
I hope not.
And go with Deuce.
I hope not.
I want to know how you guys if you guys would welcome that.
So for me, I will welcome that in the aspect that you bring in somebody like if you brought in the Jay Gruden to be a passing game coordinator. Mm-hmm. I'm not taking nothing away from Deuce, but we need somebody else from outside the NovaCare complex, in my opinion, to bring in some fresh concepts.
That's how I look at it. Yeah.
To bring in some fresh concepts, to bring in some fresh wrinkles,
yep.
to bring in a different set of eyes that hasn't been there in that building for 3 or 4 years. So if you do, I'm cool if you make Deuce the figurehead OC and in the run game. I'm cool with that. But you need to bring somebody in as a passing game coordinator. I'll give you another name that has thought about it. Maybe outside of Jay Gruden. Because Jay Gruden, he may want to be an OC altogether. Mm-hmm. So we may not want that here. But I'll give you another head coach that coached in the Super Bowl and lost. Actually beat Andy Reid in the NFC Championship game. Was the OC to start the year, is no longer OC because he lost his job.
I think who you're talking about.
His first name starts with a K.
Oh man,
I'm trying to think.
And he lost to Andy Reid in the NFC.
No, he beat Andy Reid in the NFC Championship game.
In the AFC Championship game?
NFC Championship.
NFC, okay.
Beat Andy Reid in the NFC Championship game. Coached in the Super Bowl. He's been a head coach. Yeah. He was an OC, then became a head coach, lost his job, then became another OC. Decent team. Offense has always put up numbers.
His first name starts with a K?
Yep. The team he was offensive coordinator for, they have very good fantasy players. A player on the team held out for a while.
I should know this, too.
You both should know this.
I should know this.
You guys are to kick yourself in the ass in 10 seconds.
Just go ahead. Say it.
Ken Wisenhunt.
Oh,
okay.
Jesus Christ.
That's one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Somebody who's head coach, OC.
Yeah.
You know what, Ken? Let's bring you in. Let's just bring you in. Get some eyes here. Mm-hmm. Run the passing game. Let's see what Deuce and it'll help Deuce as well.
Yeah, maybe
It'll help Deuce as well because Deuce may not be as well versed in the passing game, but he can learn some things.
Right.
Because the reason why I'm looking at that, I'm looking at the mode that Baltimore used. Because Baltimore had Marty Mornaway, and they had Greg Roman coming to be the run game coordinator.
Yeah.
And now look, that offense is the most dynamic offense in the
football.
league.
Yep.
You don't know, and it's not so much that they have the passing game. Don't get me wrong, but their run game is so complex, and I think Deuce can really bring that. But also at the same time, I think it brings people in that would push Doug and assert Doug. But what's not being talked about, what I'm not hearing, I've heard wide receiver coach Carson Welch. We need to get rid of him. I heard of Corey Undersling as a position coach as well for the defense. Press Taylor ain't it in the quarterback's room.
No.
Because he's not holding Carson accountable daily, day in and day out in that coaching room. And not enough because you said it Sunday. His mechanics are shit.
Yeah.
I remember I'm going through my Facebook and I see Jake. I'm like, he says his mechanics are trash.
They're just off. That's all it is. They're just off.
So when you have a shitty foundation in practice and you're expected to go out there in a game and perform, it's like asking. It's like it's unrealistic.
And it's another thing that Carson is maybe doing that in practice, and Pressure's like, okay, yeah, that was a good ball,
right?
But he was doing the same exact and then he brings it in the game,
right?
And then us three are sitting on the couch and like, dude, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Where's your footwork from year one to now has completely changed. Completely changed.
Well, the thing is, too, and like you said, Corey Unlin, you're not seeing development with these guys.
No.
You're not seeing any development with these guys.
Nope, at all.
I put all my mortgage on Sidney Jones to at least be a starter on this football team. The dude's wearing sweatpants on the sidelines now.
DNP.
Come on, man.
DNP, man.
Like he's the inactive player now. Like
Yeah.
he's inactive on Sundays now.
And I would not be surprised if he gets moved this offseason.
Probably.
Oh yeah, he definitely will.
Now so you bring up a bigger question, Jake. Tell me 3 players who they have developed, who you've seen improvements from this year.
Outside of not catching touchdown passes at the right time, Dallas Goedert has improved.
He's improved, yeah.
Okay.
Dallas Goedert has. Freaking Andre Dillard, when he was playing those 3 games.
He played phenomenal, yeah.
He played amazing, though, Pete.
Yeah, he did.
He held his own against Khalil Mack.
And then,
then they just took him out for an injury-prone Jason Peters.
And we have people in the fam, and even, a part of the A2D, the A2D team. They're like, oh, bring Jason Peters back over Andre Dillard. Peters is more experienced. Well,
we became sentimental as a fan base.
I didn't want Jason Peters to come back at all.
I didn't
Me either. It was bye, Felicia.
Yeah,
right.
Can't stay healthy, and you take yourself out of the game 5 snaps into the game.
I wish you well in your future endeavors, Jason Peters. That's what I would have said.
Yep.
The other guy that I've
give me somebody. Can you even think about anybody on the defense?
Anybody on the defense?
That we drafted.
That we drafted. You could say Nate Gary, but that's not really saying much.
Exactly.
That's not
Nate
saying
Gary
much.
stinks.
I know.
Any other team,
flat out stinks.
Any other team, he's a special teams player.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'm saying that on the defense, that's all that I can think of.
I can get maybe one borderline. That's Josh Sweat.
Okay, I can say.
But that's Philip Daniels now as a position coach. Our line coaches, Stoutland and Daniels, I'm fine.
We're fine, yeah.
I'm fine. So, but anywhere else in our position coaches, Ken Pasta Fajul, the linebackers coach, ass. I don't see anything. Unless we haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our safety. Oh my God, our safety play.
Robert Arizona on YouTube says we need someone other than Bradham and a lineman that can hit someone, make receivers afraid of going through the middle.
Yeah.
And you know what, man? And we've been harping on this for 3 years.
Go ahead.
We need to put stock in the linebacker position, bro.
What did I say on the fix? What did I say on the fix Wednesday night when I said
you gotta put stack.
But who does that? Whose defense values linebackers?
Ron Rivera.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That's another reason why. And this fan base, this area, we love linebacker play.
Yep.
And they never value it. Imagine if you had a defensive coordinator who actually valued linebacker play because of Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis.
Pete.
I'm telling
It was a defensive-heavy draft this year. We went all offense.
Yep.
Dude, we had going into that draft, Pete, we had 2 middle linebackers. 2 linebackers. I'm saying, okay, we're going to take a linebacker here.
Yeah.
3rd round comes, no linebacker. 4th round comes, no linebacker. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And you got to start valuing other positions other than the defensive line and the offensive line.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's how Howie's MO has always been that the offensive line and defensive line.
And Howie needs to look at his stuff too, because I understand your MO, Howie, but like I said before, I have faith in Jeff Stoutland and Phillip Daniels to get the most out of a 6th or 7th round pick. Mm-hmm. Maybe that may not be as talented, but you can coach them up.
Yeah.
Right.
When it comes to the linebackers and your DBs, no, but you need to get raw talent.
Well,
Because your position coaches ain't that good.
Yeah. Well, speaking of linebackers too, we have to look at our medical staff as well, because remember when Jordan Hicks was here, when he was healthy,
and
he
he's
was phenomenal.
freaking healthy in Arizona.
And he's lighting it up in Arizona.
He
He's
hasn't
having the
missed a
best year of
game.
his career this year.
Yeah.
Missed a game. He hasn't missed one game.
He has I think he has 117 tackles.
Is
this
there
year.
any way we can, call up Arizona and be like, yo, dude,
Can we have him back?
Can we have it back?
Can we have it back?
I'll
now?
give you 2 first.
Whoa.
Yeah. No.
Whoa. Nah, I can't do that.
Oh, real quick. Also, there's a lot of. I just want to get your guys' thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Off-season moves. I'll give you one name.
Ooh, okay.
Yes or no?
OBJ?
We know how you feel. OBJ.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I was on OBJ. I wanted them to trade for him before he even got to Cleveland.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I would.
In a heartbeat.
Oh, I would love to have Odell.
In a heartbeat.
I would love to have Odell. Rye talked about it on the Fix on Wednesday. Mike Evans is a possible name because they don't know what his future is going to be in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Because they might start rebuilding. So,
Right. And listen, people, I was the first one on the trade Zach Ertz bandwagon. And it's not even a bandwagon I want to be on. I just think it's where this team is at. I just think where this team is at and with the value that you need, I think you're in a very delicate spot to where you need to have an eye to the future. And we've already shown what a nod to the past, how much it may set you back. It may have cost you a season.
yeah.
Where there was no true contender in the NFC. There was no true dominant team in the NFC in your conference. So it may cost you the opportunity. So when you look at assets, I understand who would trade for Zach Ertz. You restructure him and then you trade him. Because trust me.
Sign and trade, okay.
Yeah, there's a team in Foxborough that would love to have Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a team in Foxborough that would love to have Zach Ertz. Trust me when I believe.
Would you do this? If David Njoku is still having his injury problems,
Yes.
would you do just fantasy-wise in your own world, a Zach Ertz trade for OBJ?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I absolutely would.
Yes.
Yes.
I would.
OBJ, it's straight,
straight
no
up.
realism, fantasy world. OBJ, Zach Ertz, straight up one play for another player.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely, I would.
Hell yes.
Because
I would drive him there myself.
Well, because it makes it easier for me and easier for Ralphie because we know we have a young, talented tight end in Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who, in my opinion, is just going to keep going up, and he can actually block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's a no-brainer. I know a lot of people are going to be against it, but I do that.
But they're against it when how do I say this? I saw comments on Wednesday. When I see this is why you could trade Zach Ertz. When you come at me, you be like, why would you do it? And you say he's the best wide receiver we have on the team. That's the problem.
He's not a typical.
Your tight end is the best skill position wideout you have on your team.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's an issue that you need to correct, and you may need to correct it at the sacrifice of Zach Ertz.
Wow.
It's a lot.
I'm not against it.
And at one point, Miles Sanders had the most receiving yards.
Yes.
1 point a year.
Yeah.
And that's your running back.
I don't know, man.
He's going to be so good, though. He's
Yeah.
going to be so good.
Yeah, if he find a way to start running in between tackles, get better vision, get a little more durable. I think we actually found something.
And I was talking to some guy on Facebook. I forget who it was, but we were getting just a conversation about bringing, if this Jordan Howard injury is something more. Do you still bring him back on a contract for next year?
1 year, yeah.
I would do a 1 year, and it also depends on too whether he needs surgery or not in the offseason. So, me personally, I bring him back.
Yeah,
I would definitely bring him back.
I would do 1 year. If that's the case, I would do 1 year just to see.
Yeah.
And you take a flyer on a running back, maybe 6th round, something like that next year. Because I don't think it's really going to be wide receiver, defensive end class next year in this draft.
Yeah.
Really more wide receiver than anything else.
It is loaded with wide receivers this year. It is absolutely loaded.
Yes, it is. So, Eagles win Monday?
Yes.
Yeah, I have Wednesday. My score was 31-13 Birds.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be that.
31-13.
But I can see 27-17, something like that. Birds.
I just don't trust. I don't trust the Giants defense. The Giants defense hasn't really been able to stop anybody all year.
Well, real quick, just looking at the free agency for the running backs, Derrick Henry is a free agent next year.
If you don't bring him back, I won't be
Kareem
against
Hunt is a free agent next year. Melvin Gordon's a free agent next year as well.
I want somebody that's going to compliment
I'm good.
Sanders.
Yeah. I would bring in Derrick Henry.
I would take a look at Derrick Henry.
If Jordan Howard walks, I'd definitely bring in Derrick Henry.
Yeah. But I think Derrick Henry's going to get paid.
Yeah, I think so too.
We could get AP.
I can see Derrick Henry.
I mean, it doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon, so why not?
He needs to work. But I can see Derrick Henry going to like New England.
You use him like consistently.
Yeah,
he's a very good running back.
I can see him going to like New England.
He's a very good running back.
And like if you had a James White and Derrick Henry backfield.
Yeah.
Well, that actually brings up to my other point, because just going back on the whole Carson Wentz thing, people have been complaining about Carson Wentz all year, saying that he's regressed. Which, looking at him, just not even the stats, just looking at him like we have all year, he has. But you look at him, he's been relatively unproductive. You look at Tom Brady this year. He's been relatively unproductive. What do those two guys have in common this year?
They just don't have wide receivers that get open.
Whoa. So you're telling me the greatest of all time needs weapons?
Yeah.
You're telling me the greatest quarterback in NFL history needs weapons?
Yeah.
You're telling me Joe Montana needed weapons? You're telling me Steve Young needed weapons?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
What a revelation, right?
Oh, my God.
I don't know, man.
No, but what do you call it? People are making the argument for Tom. Be like, oh, well, he has no one to throw to. But you're not hearing that here.
Yeah.
You're not hearing. They're like, oh, the Carson's just not good. Like,
yeah.
Who's he have to throw to?
It's fucking stupid.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's stupid. It's stupid. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
It's frustrating.
I have the Eagles winning on Monday. 31-17. Giants score a touchdown, garbage time.
So you have a 31-10 and they score?
Yeah.
I would love. Now I will say this, because in most fantasy world out there, this is the first week of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
First week of the playoffs. If you have Miles Sanders in your lineup, ride it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
rain, wet. Yeah.
And then also in the passing game, the Giants, I think they're like ranked 26 in pass against the running backs.
Against the pass, yeah.
So I think you have a good day there. Carson, I think I have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking the Birds to win the game. I can't believe. I just don't let me down, please. Don't let me down. I can't take
please,
it.
man.
I got let down last night in Washington, D.C.
Oof.
Ugh.
I got let down last night in Washington, D.C.
Ugh.
How this team lost to the Wizards.
They haven't, what do you call it? They haven't won there since Brett's first year, I believe.
I mean, they weren't. Did they even have a lead at any point in time in the game?
I don't know. I don't watch slop. You know, I don't.
Shut your ass up. This is where me and Ralph have become enemies, right here. This is at the fork of the road, and he goes. I don't know where he goes.
You know.
That bitch does a K-turn and go back the other way.
You know, I've been trying to hold it in just a little bit. You know,
I was going to get to it. 19-3.
They're looking good. They're looking good. I'm not going to lie. They're looking pretty good.
I said it 2 weeks ago. I said, dog, I think they're going to win the championship. I think they're going to win the chip.
I don't know.
You know, they said that, you know, we're beating up on bad teams, right? Then we play two, you know, playoff teams back to back.
Yeah.
And just stomp them out of their own house, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just stomp them out of their own house.
Well, see, it really helps, too, because you're having –
and everybody's crickets, too, and I love it.
But they have a kryptonite, though. If they saw this team in the first round, their kryptonite right now is Luka. They don't have an answer for Luka.
I don't know, bro. We went to Dallas and beat them.
I thought y'all lost that. They stopped y'all winning streak.
No, they came to L.A. Yeah, they stopped our winning streak, yeah, but we went to Dallas and beat them.
Yeah, but just saying, that's 1-1.
Well, see, my thing is too. I still, what do you call it? Like, obviously, it was the first game of the season. You guys lost to the Clippers, but I just want to see how you guys do again. Now, you guys just had to deal with Kawhi. You're gonna have to deal with Kawhi and Paul George eventually. That's if you can beat them, then I'll say you guys are serious contenders.
My opposition to that.
Okay.
Yes, they had to deal with Kawhi and Paul George. They don't have an answer for AD.
No.
Especially if he's healthy. That's the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. People for years killed Embiid because he missed games at big chunks at a time. Mm-hmm. AD constantly was missing games. Constantly was always nicked up. So now, at this point, if he's healthy, they have no answer for him and for the Clippers.
Yeah.
And you have a rejuvenated LeBron, a more motivated LeBron. Mm-hmm. So I just think it's going to be difficult. So I want to look ahead. If Ralph, if you could pull up real quick. I know the Sixers and the Bucks play on Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do I believe the Lakers and Clippers play again?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
And there's 2 other filler games in there somewhere.
Yeah, but those 2 games are the big ones.
Those are the big ones, right?
Who are the Clippers? Who are the what do you call it? Who are the Lakers playing? Because I know that's a good
They play the
game,
Clippers.
too. Okay.
We play the Clippers. Yep.
He said we. Bitches.
Love it.
Look at Gronk. Gronk out here looking skinny as shit.
Yeah, he's looking skinny.
Yeah, he like I'm never touching the. I'm never running another route ever in my life.
He's done.
So the 5 games for this Christmas is Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Pelicans, Warriors, Rockets, Celtics, Raptors, and then Sixers and the Bucks.
Okay.
Sixers and the Bucks is the last game?
No, it's not in order. It's not in order.
Okay. Wow,
yeah, I think the Lakers Clippers is the last game if I'm correct.
Why? So, would Zion is Zion supposed to be back by then?
They said that he's over his 8-week mark, but he still hasn't been able. He's still not doing anything.
He's probably got. I wonder if he's.
I'm telling you, dude.
They're gonna what do you call it?
All that pounds, and you're dunking for what? You've been dunking from high school all the way up into college until now with all that weight.
Yeah.
Your knees are like, dude, help me.
Kills your knees.
Yeah.
Kills your knees.
Like that's all he does, though. He just dunks.
Yeah,
that's all he does.
I saw it. That's why I said I would have took Ja Morant if I had him.
Oh, I absolutely would.
I'd have took Ja Morant. Hands down, I took Ja Morant.
But it's just because Zion's been hyped up since high school.
Yeah.
Everyone held him up on a pedestal since high school.
That hype doesn't lead to a long career.
They're like, he's going to be the next one. Everyone said he was going to be the next one. But I mean, outside of like his game in the paint, what does he really add?
No. In the game. In college, you could bully ball because those kids is lanky. You going against you going against 6'10" dudes that's frail as shit. Now you get to the league, you going against
people that are your
like
size,
LaMarcus Aldridge that's thick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So let's take a quick look at Sixers Bucks before we get out of here real quick. Okay. Well, we talked about the Sixers loss to the Wizards last night. Mm-hmm. Bad loss. Haven't won there 2-3 years, if not longer.
I think the winning streak. He's up to 10 now in Washington.
Yeah.
10 straight wins for Washington in Washington when you guys go there. And that was without John Wall.
Listen, just say the Sixers. Don't say you guys.
That was without John Wall.
Don't demean it like that. Just say the Sixers. You don't have to just say your unassociation with them by saying you guys. Okay. But Sixers Bucks, I mean, I don't know where this team is going to be. I need to see them beat a legit team.
Yeah.
And it's in Philly. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, even though the Bucks don't have Chris Middleton, it seems like I didn't think Giannis can do it. But
he's getting better.
The Mister took his game to another level.
Bro, he's hitting threes.
It's crazy.
Yo, he's stopping and popping and hitting threes, Pete.
Hey, I'm telling you, dog.
He's going to be a problem, and I'm so thankful he's in the East, dude. I'm so thankful he's in the East.
This might be Jake's first time hearing it live. It's something to be said when you're not dubbed the guy and you have to work for it. Mm-hmm. When you have to work for it and it all starts to come together and you go from this frail,
skinny
Greek guy who all he do is dunk to now you done put on 20 pounds of muscle. They really can't do nothing with you because you're starting to put it all together. Mm-hmm. And you were never donned the man.
Right.
They couldn't even say your name when you got drafted on draft night.
Yeah.
Now look at you.
Yeah.
You elevating a whole – and don't get me wrong, in basketball, one superstar player, it's easy for them to elevate the play of everybody else around them.
Yeah.
But I've seen in the last – I didn't watch last night's game. But what we saw when I came on and we were talking about Embiid never publicly shows with Simmons. They never have a press conference together. They don't show public love. Ever since then, Simmons, his aggressiveness and his mentality, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We saw the Patriots game Saturday.
Yeah.
That's the Simmons I need. But at the same time, the freak, I can't see them beating the Bucks, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to so bad. And with even with the Raptors defense, you seen what they did to the Jazz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, like, they were up 40 points.
Yeah.
So when I look at this team, I'm like, as much on paper as it looks like they should make it they should almost make it out of the East. It's not that.
And that's what I was going to ask you too. Right now, how far do you think this Sixers team can get?
It's going to be a second round exit again, and I'll say that with confidence. If they don't add a like a high level shooter, like they need, what's really different? They haven't really shown much improvement. We hyped up their defense. Their defense hasn't really necessarily been great.
Right.
It's been good. Ben's leading the league in steals, like average wise. But right now, I just you haven't seen an improvement from Ben, and you haven't necessarily as a defensive player, you've seen improvement, but offensively, he's no different.
What about you, Pete?
I think the East is a lot tighter than what you think.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, people, especially coming into the season, nobody saw Miami playing like this.
No.
I think they get out of the second round, but I think they lose in the.
I don't know.
I think they lose in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Bucks.
Okay.
To the Bucks. I really see that. I just it's hard for me to not put the Bucks in. The Bucks. The Raptors themselves last year shouldn't even have made it past us. And those people forget those first two games against the Bucks. It was like Kawhi caught his second win. He was just like, because the Sixers had beat him up so bad.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then as much as the Raptors won it, Milwaukee lost. I don't think they make that same mistake in that they're put in that position again. I do believe if the Sixers are going to do what they need to do without getting a shooter, they have to win like 04-05 Pistons basketball style. Like, it has to be ugly. But the consistency to do that hasn't been there.
Well, see, the thing is, too, they want to be a shooting team so bad, but they're not a shooting team. Their success comes in the paint.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, Brett Brown just doesn't utilize them that way.
Once we get these coaches in this city who want to only use one way to skin a cat, and they don't want to play to their team strength.
Right.
You see with the Flyers, Alain Vigneault is saying, listen, I love these guys. I love Voracek. I love these guys as people, but I need more of them as the hockey player.
Yeah, and you saw that in his press conference. He actually called them out.
I need more of them as the hockey player. Like, the person's good, but I want the hockey player to be that. And that's what we need to have the same mentality.
From all the coaches.
From all the coaches. I think you may get that with Joe Girardi. And shout out to the Phillies. I understand Zach Wheeler Strasburg isn't cold, but 5 years, $118 million, was right around $23-24 million a year. It's not that bad.
No.
When you look at it in a vacuum, it sucks because now you $20 million away from the luxury tax, but you can make moves to get around that.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? Anthony Rendon, he's on the way.
You think so?
Well, they said that he's their number one priority now. He's the Phillies' number one priority now, is trying to get Anthony Rendon.
I thought him and Bryce don't get along.
And Josh Donaldson is going to be.
That's what I heard too.
I heard that too.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I heard him and Bryce.
I heard him and Strasburg are cool though.
Yeah, I heard
those two
the
are
two
real
people
cool.
that weren't really in with Harper when he was. It was like Trey Turner, Rendon. I forget who the other name was.
So what did you just say though? You said
Strasburg and Harper are tight.
What about Strasburg and Rendon? So look at this perfect world.
Yeah.
You get Rendon. You need a
Stra-
buffer.
Wow.
And between them, you get Strasburg. Middleton says, fuck it. I'll just pay $40 million over the luxury tax.
Yeah.
But now that luxury tax is dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But you get that. We already know that this fan base will get behind our baseball team. How long was our sellout streak?
It was
long.
It was
man.
real long, yeah.
For that 5-year run,
yes.
it was long.
Yeah, it was long.
It was one of the hard, it was like I was a hard ticket to get.
Yeah.
To go
Yeah,
to
it
a
was.
Phillies game. So it could get back there.
Yeah, it definitely can.
Oh,
and that's
easily.
and
Easily.
And that's the type of stars that can get you back there.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get out of here, just want to look at the big games of the week and just give me your winner. San Fran, New Orleans, in New Orleans.
I got the Saints.
I got the Saints too.
I got Niners.
Okay.
I know they're not that game last week, turnovers. I just think they have a legit shot, and I want to see what Kyle Shanahan does against that defense, Dennis Allen's defense. And it's in the dome, and they're a fast team. They're the faster team, and usually the faster team on turf has an extra advantage. Mm-hmm. Kansas City, New England.
I have Kansas City.
I have. It's so tough. This game's really close. Just because Brady doesn't have receivers and Kansas City doesn't have a defense, so I really think this game's going to be a shootout. But and Andy Reid's clock management still worries me. But I think Andy Reid pulls it out. I think Kansas City does pull out a win.
Great point, Robert Arizona on the YouTube. He says, one last thing. Every receiver in DB on the Eagles will wait for the ball when it's in the air.
Yeah.
I have not seen them attacking the ball at the highest point.
Yep.
Only Jeffrey and Jenkins. Well, that Jeffrey made his whole career off of doing that. Mm-hmm. And then Jenkins, I understand Jim Schwartz, maybe at some point you got a big wide receiver, even though he's not as skilled and not as fluid as Darby, maybe put Rasul Douglas on him for a little bit. Maybe we'll try to slow down. Or just say, you know what? I know he's not a top 5 wide receiver, but he's killing me right now. Let me go ahead and double Devontae Parker.
Right.
I mean, that's just a novel idea. I mean, just throwing that out there.
Just a thought.
Just throwing it out there. All right. Now, I want to get to this game because I think this game is very intriguing. One, for betting purposes, because the line is -6 and the team is a road 6-point favorite. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a legit chance that they could lose. Mm-hmm. And I think they're due for a loss. And that's Baltimore and Buffalo. People sleep on Josh Allen.
Yeah, I know, man.
Josh Allen's coming into his own this year. I don't care what anybody says.
Not that much. He obviously is not as elusive as Lamar Jackson.
No.
But he's only like a half second slower.
And the dude has a cannon, too.
I'm going to go with the Ravens just because I just can't see that team slowing down right now, dude.
Yeah, I can't either.
I just can't, Pete.
Right.
Like,
no, you're right.
Because no one's been able to come up with an answer for Lamar.
I have Ravens in the game, but I bet money that they don't lose. They don't cover.
Okay.
And the only reason I say this is because Buffalo's weakness in their defense is the run game.
Yeah.
And nobody's running the ball like Baltimore.
Yeah.
No.
Nobody.
And you know who's Baltimore's leading rusher right now?
Mark Ingram?
It's not Mark Ingram.
Oh, Lamar.
It's Lamar Jackson. 900 and something yards.
Oh, he needs 63 yards to pass Michael Vick.
For all time in a single
season?
season?
Yeah.
He'll get that in his
63 yards. He just needs 63 yards. He'll get it Sunday.
He'll get it.
If not Sunday, it'll be next week.
That's crazy,
all right,
dude.
So but before we get back to the games real quick.
Go ahead.
Right now, who was better, Michael Vick in his prime or Lamar Jackson now? Now, you can make an argument for both.
Right now I'm going to say Michael Vick.
Okay.
Right now I'm going to say Michael Vick.
In his prime.
And Michael Vick, I don't care what anybody says, has a way better arm than Lamar Jackson.
He has a much better arm. There's no doubt about
he just went like this, and it went 70 yards.
Yeah, he just,
better arm,
he has
better
the best deep,
better touch.
Yeah.
He has the best deep ball throw.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm going to say Michael Vick.
Yeah.
So, right now, I say Michael Vick because I don't even think Lamar Jackson is in his prime.
No,
he's not.
He hasn't reached it yet.
Hasn't even sniffed it.
As a runner, though, as just a runner, I'm going to say Lamar Jackson right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Because that's, the spin move, the cut, the ability. It's a fucking running back.
He's running into people, too.
And that's what I'm saying. Vic ran to avoid contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he used his speed to get away with it. It was just so smart. I'm not taking anything away from Vic. But Lamar has it all. Lamar has the speed, the elusiveness, and he looks for the contact. Yeah. One last game before we get out of here. And I think this team is also due for a loss. And they play Monday night. And this other team plays Dallas next week. Seattle, L.A., and L.A.
Oh, I forget. Who did I take? We did this on Wednesday. I forget. Let me see who I took.
It is a division game.
Yeah, I took the Rams. It
is a division game. I will say that, so that factors in.
Rams, it's Sunday night.
But, I'm still taking Seattle right now. For me, they're too hot right now.
They're a hot team.
They're way too hot
but
right
I
now.
think they are due.
Oh, they're absolutely due.
And I think if Dalvin Cook doesn't lead that game, that changes the complexity of that game on Monday night. Mm-hmm. And I like the Rams are starting to get back to what made them successful. And they needed that game against Arizona. That was like their get right game.
Yeah.
That was their get right game. Mm-hmm. Let's get our shit together and get right. And I'm with Ralphie, man. I can see the Rams winning this game. I really do. So for everybody out there, well, I can't even call this PhD. This is the FND show, Friday Night Delights. I want to wish everybody out there happy holidays. Be safe out there.
Yep.
Jake rocking with us. New studio coming next week.
No weekly roundup tomorrow. We will be moving the studio tomorrow. So we should be back, Wednesday, I think? Yeah, Wednesday.
So for everyone out there, be safe. Love one another. Go Birds.
Later, guys.